Okay, folks, get ready for this one. We're going deep into the wild world of animal sex.
Oh, yeah.
But not the birds and the bees kind of stuff.
Fun.
This deep dive is going way beyond that.
Okay.
Think mind-blowing, bizarre, and maybe even a little bit embarrassing.
I like where this is going.
Our source material is this article, 10 Weird Ways Animals Have Sex.
Catchy title.
I know, right? It really grabs your attention.
Definitely.
So get ready, because we're going to unpack some seriously strange mating rituals from across the animal kingdom.
Awesome.
So, when we think about sex,
Uh-huh.
we often think about it from, well, the human perspective. But
Yeah.
the animal kingdom is like a whole different ball game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like they're playing by a totally different set of rules. And
Yeah.
those rules can get seriously weird.
Totally.
So let's start with marsupials. You know, those adorable creatures with the pouches.
Kangaroos, koalas, all those.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
They seem so cuddly and innocent, but
Yeah.
get this. Female marsupials have 3 vaginas. You heard that right, 383.
Wow. That's
It's kind of mind-blowing, right?
Mhm.
So tell us, what's the deal with this triple vagina situation?
Well, think of it like a 3-lane highway, but for reproduction.
Okay,
2 of those vaginas, the lateral ones,
Yeah.
basically the sperm channels, right? And then you have the middle vagina, and that one's reserved for giving birth.
fascinating.
And to make things even more interesting, many male marsupials, they've evolved to have forked penises.
Wow.
It's like nature's perfect puzzle, everything fits just right. It's a really striking example of how reproductive anatomy can be so incredibly specialized.
Yeah, and it makes you appreciate the diversity of life on this planet, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Right. We think we've got it all figured out, but then nature throws something like this at you. It's humbling, really.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about 3 vaginas, but it gets even weirder.
Weirder than 3 vaginas.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm listening.
Let's talk about the swamp wallaby.
Those cute little guys hopping around.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They're essentially perpetually pregnant.
What do you mean?
They have these embryos just waiting in the wings, kind of like paused, And as soon as the older Joey leaves the pouch, boom, the next one starts developing.
That's incredible.
It's like having a backup plan built right into their biology.
It's like they're always ready to go.
Exactly. And that makes a lot of sense when you think about their environment. Australia could be a pretty unpredictable place.
Droughts, floods, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. So being able to reproduce quickly is a huge advantage. It's like
Yeah.
evolution saying, hey, you never know what's going to happen, so be prepared.
Nature is so smart.
I know, right? All right, so moving on from perpetually pregnant wallabies, let's talk about something a little less, maybe a little less cuddly. How about bed bugs?
Ooh, those are nasty.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Nobody likes bed bugs, but their mating ritual is something else.
What do they do?
So imagine this. You're just minding your own business, and then suddenly you get stabbed by your partner. Yeah, that's essentially what male bed bugs do.
Oh, wow.
They pierce the female's abdomen with this sharp little thing they have, and they inject sperm directly into her body cavity.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's called traumatic insemination.
I can see why.
Definitely not the most romantic way to make babies.
That sounds pretty brutal.
It is. And you know what's crazy? This traumatic insemination thing is actually one of the reasons why bed bugs are so good at spreading.
Really?
Yeah, because the females are constantly trying to escape.
To avoid getting stabbed again.
Exactly. So they move around a lot, which means they can spread to new places really quickly.
It's like an evolutionary arms race, isn't it?
Totally. The females are evolving to avoid the trauma, and the males are evolving to make sure they can still reproduce.
Fascinating how that works.
I know, right? Nature's full of these weird little battles. Okay, let's move on to something a little less stabby.
Stabby.
Let's talk about echidnas.
Oh, I love echidnas. They're so strange looking.
I know, right? They're like a mix of an anteater and a hedgehog.
And they lay eggs, which is super weird for a mammal.
Exactly. But here's the thing that really sets them apart. Their penises.
Okay.
They have 4 heads.
4. Like 4 heads on one penis.
You heard that right, 4 heads.
That's just crazy.
I know, it sounds totally bonkers. But before you picture this like crazy multi-headed monster situation,
I kind of am.
it's not quite like that.
Okay.
Only 2 of the heads are actually used at a time.
Oh, really?
They alternate between mating sessions.
So like 2 heads one time, 2 different heads next time.
Exactly.
But why 4 heads? Like, what's the evolutionary advantage of that?
Well, scientists aren't exactly sure,
Okay.
but they think it might have something to do with sperm competition. like making sure their sperm has the best chance of fertilizing the egg.
Interesting.
Or it could be a way to reduce injury during mating. Who knows? Maybe it's both.
It's a mystery waiting to be solved.
It is. All right, so from multiple vaginas to four-headed penises, nature certainly keeps us on our toes, right?
Totally.
Okay, so let's talk about an animal that takes the phrase, live fast, die young, to a whole new level.
Okay, who are we talking about?
The antechinus.
Antechinus. What's that?
They're these small, mouse-like marsupials,
Hmm.
but their mating season is absolutely insane.
What do they do?
They go on these crazy mating frenzies. I'm talking weeks of nonstop mating.
Weeks.
They push their bodies to the absolute limit, no sleep, no food. They even stop grooming.
Wow, they really go all out.
They do, and sadly, they all die shortly after mating.
They die from exhaustion.
Yeah, it's like their bodies just can't handle it.
That's kind of sad.
It is. It's like a biological tragedy,
Oh.
But there is an evolutionary reason behind it.
There is.
Yeah, so this Big Bang approach to reproduction, it ensures that a ton of offspring are born at the optimal time,
Right.
which maximizes their chances of survival, even though the dabs don't get to stick around. It's kind of a stark reminder that evolution isn't always about individual survival.
Right.
It's about the success of the species. Okay, now let's dive into the deep, dark ocean.
Sounds mysterious.
It is. And that's where we find the anglerfish.
Anglerfish. The ones with the light.
You got it.
Yeah.
But their mating ritual, it's next level.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So picture this. You're this tiny male anglerfish, right?
Right.
And you finally, after searching for who knows how long, you find a female. But here's the thing. She's massive.
Like way bigger than him.
Oh, yeah, like many times his size.
Wow.
So what does he do? He latches onto her. And, I mean, he really latches on. He fuses himself to her body
He fuses.
permanently.
So he's basically stuck there forever.
He becomes a part of her, like a living steam bank.
That's bizarre.
It is. But when you think about it, kind of makes sense.
How so?
I mean, finding a mate in the vast dark ocean is like winning the lottery.
Yeah, that's true.
So this way, he's guaranteed to reproduce.
It's a pretty extreme way to ensure paternity, though.
It is. But hey, it works for them.
I guess so.
Okay, how about a little musical interlude?
Musical? Are we talking about singing fish?
Not quite. So water bugs, believe it or not, they serenade their mates with their penises.
Their penises.
Yeah, they rub their penises against their abdomens. And it creates this sound, kind of like a mating call.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
It's pretty wild, right?
So what does it sound like?
Apparently, it can get as loud as 99 decibels.
99 decibels? That's like a lawnmower.
Exactly. So the next time you hear a lawnmower, think of those love-struck water bugs.
I will.
Okay, let's talk about red velvet mics.
Aren't those tiny, bright red ones?
You got it. And get this. The males leave these silken trails to guide the females towards their sperm packets. It sounds almost romantic, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Like a little silk road to love.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Red velvet mites can also fertilize themselves.
So they have a backup plan.
Exactly. Which makes sense, if you can't find a mate, you got to do what you got to do.
That's resourceful.
It is. All right, moving on to land snails.
Snails. They always seem pretty boring to me.
I know, right? But they have this one thing. It's called a love dart.
A love dart? What's that?
So basically, they shoot these darts at each other.
Like as a sign of affection.
Well, not exactly. These darts are coated with hormones.
Hormones.
Yeah, and they manipulate the receiving snail's reproductive system.
So it's like a sneaky way to increase their chances of having offspring.
Exactly.
Those snails are playing dirty.
I know, right? It's like a whole different kind of love story.
Okay, we've had stabby bed bugs and hormone-shooting snails. What's next?
How about some penis fencing?
Penis fencing.
Yeah, it's what flatworms do.
Like actual fencing with their penises?
Pretty much.
How does that even work?
So they have these sharp, needle-like penises,
Okay.
and they use them to duel each other. Winner gets to be the dad.
So it's a battle for fatherhood.
Exactly. And it's all about avoiding the energy cost of producing eggs. Because sperm is cheap,
Right.
But eggs, those are expensive.
Makes sense.
So the loser gets stuck with the burden of motherhood. Okay, and for our final act in this parade of bizarre mating rituals,
Let's hear it.
we have the octopuses.
Octopuses are pretty cool.
There are. Super intelligent.
Yeah.
But did you know they have a detachable penis arm?
A detachable what?
A penis arm. It's called a hectocotylus.
A hectocotylus.
Yeah, it's this specialized arm that can detach
Yeah.
and crawl into the female's mantle cavity to deliver sperm. Like it can function independently.
It's like a little Mission Impossible for sperm.
Exactly. And it's thought to be an adaptation for dangerous mating environments. If you got to make a quick getaway.
Smart.
So there you have it. From marsupials with 3 vaginas to octopuses with detachable penis arms, the animal kingdom is a wild place.
It really is.
And it just goes to show there's no one-size-fits-all approach to reproduction.
Absolutely.
Nature is full of surprises.
And adaptation.
Exactly. It's like this never-ending experiment. And it makes you wonder, where do we fit into all of this?
It's a big question.
It is, and I think it's one worth pondering. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the bizarre world of animal sex. It's been a wild ride, and I hope you learned something new today. Until next time, keep exploring the wonders of nature, and maybe, just maybe, you'll start to see the world around you in a whole new light.